Hey everybody, this is Christine with Coco Daisy, and I am sharing with you some layouts that I created using the January Nordic Skies collection, the Modern Memory Keeping Kit. Now, the Modern Memory Keeping Kit, if you're new to Coco Daisy or if you're new to that particular kit, is a kit that will work with any kind of memory keeping. Whether you do a traditional 12 by 12 scrapbooking, if you create mini albums, if you do 8.5 by 11, if you do pocket cards, if you do memory planning, there's just so many ways that you can use this. You can create cards with this kit as well. And one of the things that I try to do each month when I create these videos is, of course, show you how to use the product, but especially with this kit, unlike our Traveler's Notebook Memory Keeping Kit, which is always in a Traveler's Notebook or in our Simple Dory booklet, because there's so many different ways that you can use this kit, I try to create a traditional 12 by 12, but then I try to create either a mini album or just kind of try something new, even for me. And I did that this month, so I'm excited to share something with you that I kind of played with. And that's what it's all about, right? Is being creative. We're capturing our memories, but as creative people, this is our outlet, and this is what we want to do. I want you to enjoy the process and have fun. So if I can think of ways to share that with you, I love it all the more. And I usually will share a memory planning in my Daisy Planner layout as well. But again, I did something a little different this month. So first of all, I'm going to show you the 12 by 12. So the 12 by 12 came together really pretty quickly. Let me fluff my little butterflies here. They got flattened. Or I'm sorry, not butterflies, they're moths, because the theme is Nordic Skies and it's nighttime. So we used moths, not butterflies. I used one of almost a full sheet of one of the pattern papers. And so I selected this picture of the puppies sleeping together. And I thought that the photograph was light enough that I felt like the dark graphic paper went really well with it. So I added that, just have a 12 by 12 sheet of plain white cardstock. I added that. I did do a little ink splatter, which I always do. And then I put my paper down. I cut another piece of the pattern paper, this kind of pretty pink, blush pink stripe. And I thought this would be perfect for my title and my journaling. I added the photograph. I raised this up on a little bit of foam adhesive. And then I went through and I used one of the pocket cards. And I love these. These are, again, so versatile. You can use them as titles. You can use them in regular traditional pocket memory keeping. You can create mini albums out of these, which I've shown before. You can use these for cards. So this one right here, if you just took a standard size card made out of cardstock, put that on the front, you've got a great card to send to someone. Or turn it into a tag shape, and you've got a great tag for on a gift. So I love this. I mean, there's so many ways that you can use these. But this one, I liked that it had the little bit of brown and the pink, so it pulled those together along with the little bit of graphic black bits on there. I cut it into a tag shape. I punched the little circle, and then I used, from the stamp set, I used that solid circle to stamp over top of it to kind of mimic what a tag would look like. I added Fur Baby with the little mini alphas, and I stamped the word highlights on here from the stamp set. And then I added my journaling, and then on the rub-on sheet, there was this tiny little bit of black dots, kind of ink splatter, and I added that there just kind of, I thought it just broke things up a little bit, and it added that teeny little bit right on there as well. Now, with some of my leftover from this piece of pattern paper, because it was very square, I felt which was fine, but I just wanted to kind of break out of that grid a little bit, and it kind of draws the eye and adds some interest as well as if you look at the die cut that I add here, the Loved This Magic Moment, it creates a great visual triangle as well, which is always something you want to do when you are designing a layout. So I took some of that extra paper and I cut out a couple of the little moths and then added them. I just adhered them just on the body so that I could kind of fluff up the wings and it gets that three-dimensional look to it. So that is my 12 by 12 layout. Again, pretty simple. There's not a whole lot of layering on here, but I think there's just enough. I tend to always kind of go more on the simple side when I create my layouts, but I do like to add some layering. So that's my 12 by 12. Then what I wanted to do. So I've seen a lot of people creating layouts with kind of like a collage effect. And it's a fun way to add layers. And it's meant to be a little bit less structured. So that's a bit of a challenge for me because as you can see, most of what I do when I create a layout is very, very structured. And excuse me, I wanted to try that, just kind of it as an exercise. I also thought it would be fun to do a smaller format, and I wanted a way to use up leftover pieces and bits. So this is the idea that I came up with. So I had created, we have a collection in the Daisy store called the Minimalist Collection, and that's what this is. It is actually a set of inserts, so you can see, and it's just black and white. It's just simple. And I had played around with, I ended up putting this in rings, but I had played around with putting it on the discs as well. So this was just kind of an experiment that I was doing. I added in some stamping. I added in some of my own little overlays that I made. So this is just kind of like something that I played with. And when I was wanting to do another layout, and I was trying to think of size, and I thought, well, it would be neat to do it in like an A5 size. And so I pulled this out, and I was just kind of looking at it and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And excuse me, I realized how well the colors of the stripe page, the days of the week, went with the colors that I was putting together for this layout. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to actually use these as my background papers? So technically they're planner inserts, but again, think outside the box, and it's a pattern paper. It's a great weight of paper, and I thought, it would be fun to start doing a theme, or not necessarily a theme, but to do a series where every month when I have some leftover pieces, quickly creating kind of a collage page. And I actually did a video of me putting together this layout, and you can see that on my Instagram feed if you look it up. So you can see how quickly this came together. It literally was just a few minutes where I just tore some paper, I went through the pocket cards, I pulled one out, and it was really that quick. And it was an exercise for me in just kind of letting go of structure and letting it just be kind of free form and having fun with it. And I love how it turned out. So I just tore a couple of the sheets of pattern paper. I stamped the word currently on here. I added a stamp to one of the die cuts here, and I layered those around the photograph. I tucked in one of the pocket cards. I didn't cut it, I didn't do anything to it, I just tucked it in. I actually had this butterfly, and this is where I was talking about using leftover pieces that I have from the kit as well. I had this little leftover butterfly because I had originally cut him out to go on here, but I didn't like that particular one. And I just tucked that in there. I had a little rub-on leftover piece that I tucked in there and added, and then a couple of the little glitter dots, and that was it. So it went together. Again, go ahead and I watch my little video where I put it all together, because it's really kind of neat to watch, and it will show you. It is only sped up a teeny bit. So the amount of time that you see it takes me to put together is really close to the amount of time that it actually took to put together. It's sped up just so that, I think for reels you have to have a time limit or whatever, but it's honestly about the amount of time it took. It was super, super fast, just tearing paper, and it was fun. It was kind of like, I'm just gonna throw this together and have fun. And I love the addition of these inserts on here. I like how that just kind of becomes another pattern with it. You've got the stripe going here, so it kind of mimics that. And you've got the script writing on here, and that all kind of works together really well. You've got this solid black bit that works with the dark in the photograph too. And so this was just something I had started, a project, and it was laying around, and now I love the fact that I have an idea for it and a use for it. And it's another outlet, or another way for me to show you how to use the product from the Modern Memory Keeping Kit, and maybe inspire you to try something different. You know, if you're kind of in a rut and you don't want to do the big 12 by 12s, you'd like to do something a little more scaled down, this is a fun way to do it. And what I like too is, because it's the discs, you can put it on and take it off. So it's easy to work on the page, punch it, and then stick it in with the discs, which you could do with a ring bound as well. But the nice thing about discs is that you can continue to get larger and larger discs. So if you do a lot of layering, and maybe you want to do something like an art journal with this, you can get different size discs and continue to make your book as big as you want. So those are my two layouts using the Modern Memory Keeping Kit. Oh, and I should mention, because I always forget to do this, I do a stamping video. Make sure you check that out. And I go over a lot of fun ways to use the stamp set from this kit, how to layer it and kind of stretch this stamp set. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love to hear your comments. If there's other sorts of memory keeping that you'd like me to try and showcase, make sure you do that. But make sure you like and subscribe, and let us know what you love, what you want us to try, and I will talk to you next month.